Welcome to the Marketing Mentor Podcast with Ilise Benun, founder of marketing-mentor.com and author of 7 books, including The Creative Professional's Guide to Money. Since 2008, Ilise has been interviewing her clients and other successful professional creatives who are doing what it takes to stop the feast or famine syndrome, get better clients, and command the fees they deserve, and sharing the nuts and bolts of what they've learned so you can do it too. You can find more at marketing-mentor.com. And now, here's Ilise Benun.
Hello, everyone. This is Ilise Benun of marketing-mentor.com. I am also the programming partner for the Creative Business Program at How Design Live. And today we are here for episode number 2 of our speaker podcast series for How Design Live 2015. And I'm talking to Rob Harr of Sparkbox. Rob, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I am good. It's a little cold here, but it's starting to warm up here soon.
I feel the same way. Why don't you introduce yourself and Sparkbox, and then we'll tell what your topic is at How Design Live, and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, my name's Rob Harr. I'm the vice president here at Sparkbox. We're located here in Dayton, Ohio. We are a web design and development company that specializes in custom software solutions for the web.
Excellent. And what size firm are you, Rob?
We have 25 people in the office.
Okay. And how long has Sparkbox been in business?
6 years.
Okay, great. So that's some nice growth. And your topic at How, which is going to be on Monday, May 4th at 1:15, is called How to Make Hourly Pricing Work. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring you to the conference this year is because I am constantly preaching and evangelizing about how people should not price hourly, or at least, obviously base your prices on hourly, but not necessarily price hourly. And you have a whole other perspective that I wanted to bring out. And so maybe you can start with a little bit about, what is the problem with pricing? Why do so many creatives struggle with it?
I think that most of us struggle with it because we have an inherent fear of talking about money with our clients.
Why? What is that about?
Because we're trained. It's something it's part of Western culture, I think, that we just get afraid to talk about money. We think that, all of these things that we do are for some higher calling. This is an uncomfortable subject. So we don't talk about it and we push it to the back burner. And, it's the realization that, business is an exchange of goods and services for money. Like that's the thing that goes back and forth between us and our clients, and they're almost all the clients that I've ever dealt with they're willing to pay for things. It's the money is what they want to spend because they want something higher value in return.
And so, I agree with you, and I've come across a lot of clients who are desperately looking for a good way to spend their money and to spend their money on the right quality, even though, of course, there are people who are, penny pinchers or don't have much money to spend. But I do think if you look for them, the people with money who want to spend it are out there. And so it seems like one of the struggles is, how to find them, number one, but also what kind of mind shift is required. I guess this is a question. What kind of mind shift is required to go from this fear of talking about money to, oh, you have money to spend. Here's what I could offer you.
Yeah, I think it's really focused on the value that you're bringing. I know that I get in trouble with some of the my value pricing friends when I talk about value so much when talking about hourly, but I think that we never escape the value of things, and they're looking to spend that money because what the value you're going to bring to their project is worth more than the money. Otherwise, they wouldn't spend it. And I think that we end up in this situation over and over again because Most of us did study business. I didn't study business. I started as a software developer for years. And most of the people that I meet that run creative agencies, we didn't start and study business. So we think it's this, you know, we think and believe that the skill sets to be a good designer or builder of things is the same skills required to run businesses. And what I think most of us learn is that they're two totally different skill sets. And we have to unlearn some of the things and to become good at the business side.
That's interesting, this idea of unlearning. Can you name one thing you think it's important to unlearn, or maybe that you have unlearned?
Yeah, I had to unlearn to just defend decisions that were made over and over and over again. One of the things that I think is really, really important when we talk about pricing and adding value is recognizing that we're there to help solve their problems. They are our clients' problems that we're trying to help them solve. We didn't create them. We don't own them all the time, but we're there to be a consulting piece to help them do it. And I think the other thing that you have to unlearn a little bit is sometimes you have to meet the solution that you come up with as a good partner may not be the latest and greatest technical or design solution, but it adds value and it meets them where they are.
That's interesting. Yeah, because a lot of creatives want to be the most creative they can be on every project, and it's not always appropriate.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Okay, so in the blurb for, or the description for your session, How to Make Hourly Pricing Work, it says that you will be discussing differing pricing strategies and the pros and cons for each. So can you give us a little tease of which pricing strategies you'll be talking about?
Yep, we'll be talking briefly about fixed, value, and hourly, which are the three prevalent ones that I see. And we'll talk about the pros and cons of each. And the moral of the story for me isn't that any one is necessarily so much better than the others. It's that finding the one that works for you and matches the rest of your business model and making sure that your decisions and the things you do line up with that kind of thinking.
So that's a good segue to the question about why did Sparkbox choose hourly pricing, and how does it work?
Yeah, we chose hourly pricing because, like most creative agencies that get started, we were doing everything fixed pricing when we started, and that we were hemorrhaging money on projects, and we were constantly over delivering. We were constantly finding ways to make sure that we were always chasing, like, oh, we'll use this work to springboard into the next thing. And I believe that creative agencies kind of get stuck in that sand, and because they can survive doing that, they never stop to rethink should they continue doing that. And for us, it was that shift to hourly pricing that allowed us to share the risk of what we were building with our clients, so that if we ran into problems or if they wanted to change scope, then we could do that really easily. So the way it works for us is that we do everything by the hour, and we do weekly invoicing so that everything is up to date. And what that means for us is that, that means that we are constantly talking about money and what effort and what level of effort it takes to perform things for our clients. One of the things we're going to talk about during my session is how to set your rate per hour. And one of the things that goes into an hourly rate not only is your cost and your obvious multiplier, but also I think that value should be priced into each hour. What things you bring to the industry and why somebody wants to work with you.
And you're going to talk about how to put a number to that?
Yes.
I can't wait to hear that. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that this challenge, about hemorrhaging, if you are doing fixed pricing and then things change or you've over-delivered or underestimated, do you think that is especially problematic for interactive or digital projects, or just across the board?
I think it is. I know that it's especially it does exhibit itself a lot in interactive projects. Software is inherently hard to estimate. There's been, books and white papers and studies. One of the things that I've learned about software in my career is, one, users are really, really bad at describing what they need instead of what they want. And as developers and designers of digital things, we're an optimistic bunch. We always want to imagine that the best case scenario is going to happen when it rarely does. Our estimates are great until they have a healthy dose of reality that they need. And I think it can happen in other types of creative work too, especially with printing and design and stuff like that, because requirements do change, and people and humans are bad at describing what they need and what they actually think that will solve their business problems coming into it. I think that fixed pricing especially can be especially dangerous because it assumes that all the things are known up front when the price is given. Value pricing definitely takes care of some of those things, but I think they all have their pros and cons, including hourly.
Mm-hmm. And you said also before that you're constantly talking about money. Can you be specific and tell us a little bit about how that manifests? Because I think that would be particularly challenging for a lot of the people I talk to.
Yeah, we do weekly invoicing. So that means every Monday morning, we send out an invoice for all the week in the previous week that was done. And that's done a couple of really cool things. One, Monday's my favorite day of the week now. And two, it makes sure that we're never more than a week removed from having an accountability talk with our clients. This is a partnership. We take the long view on clients. One of the common criticisms of hourly pricing is that agencies will just work more hours and they just continue to bill, and even when it's not necessary. But I think there's some checks and balances that can be put in place that if you take the long view, I don't ever want to bill for a client for an hour that isn't worth it. Because I want project 5, 6, 30, 40 with the same client over and over again. So we talk about the budget and where we are with scope every single week with every single one of our clients. And they get an invoice every single week. So there is no excuse for either side of us to say, this is a surprise. We didn't know what was going on. And what I think happens is when you have regular conversations about money on a cadence, that the scarier conversations about money, about we need more budget, or man, did we mess up here, or why is this taking so long? They become commonplace because they don't become as scary because you've been talking about money the whole time, even when the project is in the beginning and it's good, or when it's bad. It just becomes part of the cadence, and it kind of demystifies those scary conversations we think that are going to happen with clients.
I love that idea. Now, I would imagine this also helps with cash flow.
Yes, it does. Which is another big reason that we love, weekly invoicing is, I want to shorten the duration between the time we do the work and the time we get paid. We actually, to help support that even more, we start negotiating our terms at 15 days.
Mm-hmm. And is it difficult with some clients to convince them to, or have them agree to pay on a weekly basis?
There are some cases where it is, but what I've kind of learned is that you have to have a position going into negotiations about money. One of the things that really kind of hurt our cash flow a couple of years ago is a lot of bigger clients want to do 45 or 60-day terms on invoices, and we were pretty happy with 30. But if we started negotiating at 30 and they started at 60, we ended up at 45. So we lowered our place where we start negotiating, which is 15. Mm-hmm. So that means if they want 60 or 45, we can usually end up at 30. Mm-hmm. And a large number of people will actually just say, well, 15's fine. Yeah, we'll sign. We'll do whatever you want. And most clients for weekly invoicing, they like that cadence too, because it gives them a level of comfort where they always know where the project's at and how much money they've spent. and that they can stop.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I'm channeling some of my clients listening to you and thinking that they must be thinking, yeah, I guess you could do that if you're a 25-person firm, but I'm just one guy out here or one woman out here, and that's a big corporation. I'm asking them to pay weekly or, net 15. Why would they say yes to me?
Well, they wouldn't be working with them if they didn't value what you did. That's why they're working with you. And it's not so much where these aren't things that I think that we need as creative agency owners and people who are running the businesses to draw lines in the sand and say, if you don't meet me here, I won't do it. Because there's always exceptions to it. But you should be able to walk into any client relationship and know what you're willing to negotiate on and what you can't negotiate on. And one of the things that's really easy, that about having 15-day terms as our standard agreement, is if we start getting pushback on things, that's an easy place for me to give.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple things like that. The term is one, a deposit's another. There's a couple things that I'm willing to negotiate away immediately, and I know that without saying it, so that there's other things that I won't negotiate on and that I can be like, okay, let's talk. What if we talk about terms? I'm not really willing to change my hourly rate, but we can talk about payment terms for the deposit required.
And actually, don't you think also that sometimes just if you ask, people will say yes?
Uh-huh. Yeah. You have to be in a place where these are not taboo subjects anymore.
Right.
And I think that, practice talking about money with clients gives you to a place where you have more and more confidence to go into new relationships and just be like, let's make sure we have a conversation about the money that's going into this, because that's why I'm doing this for you. And that's why you're hiring me, is to hopefully provide value so that you go off and your business makes more money.
Excellent. All right. Last question, Rob, because I know that there's a lot more specifics you're going to share in your session in Chicago on May 4th. But can you give us a little taste? I know you mentioned in the description some common pricing pitfalls. We've kind of talked about a bit of those, but give us one last one.
Yeah. You need, for hourly pricing and hourly billing, you need to get over that not all hours are created equal. Creativity and productivity ebbs and flows. This is natural. This is what happens. Your best hour will probably be underpriced, and your worst hour may be overpriced, but you're trying to price what the average hour value is.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. Tell people where they can find more information about you and Sparkbox.
Yeah, you can find us online at sparkbox.com. That's SEE Sparkbox.com. And you can find me on Twitter at Robert Harr.
At Robert Harr, RobertHarr.
That's me.
Beautiful. And I'm Ilise Benun of marketing-mentor.com. I'm on Twitter at M as in Mary Toolbox. And I hope to see all of you in Chicago for How Design Live 2015. If you haven't registered already and you want to use my promotional code for $50 off, I hope you will. It's mentor, just the word mentor. And you can do that at howdesignlive.com. And again, thank you, Rob, and I will see you soon in Chicago.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great week.
It will. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Now go try out what you've learned. If you like what you hear, you can go to marketing-mentor.com and sign up for Ilise's quick tips from Marketing Mentor and her free 30-minute mentoring session to get your burning questions answered. Check out what's on sale in the Marketing Mentor shop, like the Pick a Niche Kit, proposal bundles for designers and copywriters, and the 30 Minutes a Day marketing plan. Ilise is also the host of the How Design Live podcast, a programming partner for How Design Live, the largest design conference, and you can learn all about that at howdesignlive.com. Until next time.